everything. Then let's see here. It just popped up. So we good.
Yeah.
You could just that's on me then.
From the Sunshine State, the great state of Florida, and what does your Uncle Charlotte always say? The craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida.
I'm Big Bubba, cross my black car. It's booby traps and pit bulls cross my backyard. I'm still strapped, boy, these handguns on Vanguard. I like going against the grain cause my hand hard. Bae, I used to thug hard to see this crack hard. I don't thug nothing but the motherfucking task force. Me and 2 Root running shit, we like the fat boys. Paid cash for it, so I try this and fast forward. I put it all in your face like you asked for. Most of you love frontin' like the dashboard. I get it chalked out like the blackboard. I got the ghetto off glass like the backboard. Most of my niggas ride till it ain't no gas for. We been outside like ain't no map for. Been outside like ain't no map for.
I swear to God, these motherfucking gents in Florida is different. Man, I was at this house the other night. Gave her little like son one melatonin, thinking this little motherfucker gonna go to sleep. Hell nah, the little motherfucker ain't go to sleep. I end up giving this little the whole goddamn bottle. He ate them all. It was up all motherfucking night.
I'm in all white ones. Picture could get me a Cy Young. We feel like nuns. No f***s giving like Spice One. We feel like bums. Don't change, then I might run. Feel like bunch. Shit sit when the price jump. I got white bumps. These bags kill it price plump. You only die once. I know you a snake with a sliced tongue. I can't trust you, I'ma dust you. Ain't no checking temperature. It's f*** you, then it's f*** you. These laws I'm stuck to. You know how many 12-12s I run through? My get cut, but my girlfriends get cut loose. My get hit like kung fu. I love the streets, but they never told me I love you.
Yeah, I already know. I'm straight from Florida, G. You know, bottom of the motherfucking map. Home of motherfucking Uncle Luke. Home of Trick Daddy. Home of Kodak Black. Nothing but gold teeth, wigs, and motherfucking sticks. You already know. Bottom of the map. FLA. Shaped like a motherfucking Hezbollah. Have you, want it? I ain't got no damn business at church. Cause all I be doing is looking at damn prints in that bitch. I'm talking about, man. You know how up it is? Like, you ever got hard in church before? Like, ain't that some shit? You get hard in church when you in that, like, you know you wrong. You know you wrong, but...
You're back on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. As always, we got a good show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about a heavier sports show, but that's good news. We got the NBA going on, some NBA news, All Star, LeBron versus the Bus family. The New York Knicks are in trouble. You got the NFL. They're in the conference championships. We got two big games here this weekend. All right. And, of course, you know, Indiana beats Miami. So we're going to be talking about all of that good stuff here, all right, today. So appreciate you guys joining us, whether you're joining us on the live, you're catching the audio stream, you're catching the smaller clips on YouTube throughout the week or social media. We appreciate it all.
Catch something, just not a VD.
That's right,
with
man.
With the back, I thought you were calling a home run.
back. Oh, man, no. Never been a baseball announcer.
I know. Florida Marlins might have some work for you.
Man, I have been in disgust all day. All week.
Over what?
And I just think, man, sometimes I sit down and I think, it's like, what all is it? What all is it for? I mean, really. Like, you got everything that is good for you is bad. You got, you know, you can't eat too much fried chicken or any at all. all the foods, all the candy, ice cream, like anything that's good for you is bad for you. You're only allowed one woman at a time. If you got 2 or 3 women, all of a sudden you're a terrible man. You're a bad guy.
Or you're a Mormon.
And everything. I was reading an article, man, where this guy was collecting rainwater. And then he created his own filtration system at the house using his own tools and everything. And he was filtering the rainwater. And he was just, it was just for him and his family, his household, and his plants and stuff like that. He was drinking it and also using it for his plants and stuff like that. And I'll be damned, they arrested this man.
For what? What's the charge?
And they said that rainwater belongs to the city and the state.
Oh, God.
And it's like, we're in 2026, right? And I had to think about it. But it's like, man, we know everything except for the shit that we need to know. We know about everybody. You guys, you find all of the information and you find all of the right people. If anything you need to know. You know about Wilt Chamberlain scoring 100 points, but we need to know who is responsible for all of these bullshit rules and laws and society things. Like, okay, all right, okay. Women think that a man should be, but who came up with that? Who made fried chicken so delicious but so unhealthy to eat? Like,
I don't think that falls in that same
who are the families? Who find the families of the people that are responsible and hold them responsible? For all of this stuff, it's crazy, man.
I mean, generally speaking, though, whoever has power at a given moment creates the laws that favor them and protect them. And so at some point, somebody had a vested interest in controlling the water. And so they had a law made that says the water belongs to the municipality. So then they could charge for the use of the water. And so basically your municipalities that have water service and get a bill from, send a bill to everybody in the freaking community. They had a vested interest, so they basically wrote up a law that says we own the water.
But that makes me think it's like simple water companies. Are they just collecting rainwater and filtering it themselves and just selling it back to us?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean,
or are they having to pay, pay the municipality in which they operate a quote-unquote water bill as part of their operational costs. But that begs the question on how things happen. So if you go, we're going to have whatever water company is there. If you're going to set up shop and produce water in, let's just say, Orlando, you're going to open up essentially a big factory. You're going to employ people, and then you're going to go to the city and say, hey, I know you guys own the water, but, we're obviously going to generate a water. We're going to generate some jobs. We're going to generate some money for the community. How about we relax the water rules as it relates to water companies specifically? And they probably work out an accommodation to the rule to do that. And that's just how shit gets done, really.
Yeah, I couldn't foresee that happening. But no. You made that very understandable there.
Or the water companies are going to gravitate towards places to do their business that don't necessarily have that same regulation for water. Yeah. I was watching some clips of Ben Affleck. They've got a new Netflix movie with Matt Damon. He was just saying, they were asking the question, is Hollywood dead? And he's kind of like, in a lot of ways, yeah. And it's basically there's so many places nationally and internationally that want to make movies and have movies made in their area that they're doing all sorts of sweetheart deals to make filmmaking inexpensive in, let's just say, Atlanta, or let's just say somewhere in Wyoming. And to make a movie in LA and all the costs inherent in that, it's kind of outrageous. And it's way more films are being well, heck, we'll go to Scotland and film there. And it's destroying the core of Hollywood in terms of a place where tons of movies are made because it's just too costly.
Yeah.
But it's the way he explained it. It's like the municipalities, the governments are in one area bending over backwards to accommodate film, and in the other saying, hey, this is tough luck. You want to make a film? Here's what it costs.
No, 100%.
And so that's the thing.
100%. Shout out to two of our day ones here. All right, Eb and Kobe here. You changed your YouTube name, Kobe. All right. Kobe went away for a couple of weeks there, so we hadn't had him as a viewer here.
He's back.
But he's back
with a new tag.
With a new tag. We appreciate it all, man. Black Juan. So wherever he went and got some culture there.
Yeah.
Black Juan.
And Ebony notes that it's good to see you fully dressed today. It's been about a month since we haven't had to look at your abdomen.
Or lack thereof.
And male breasts. So this is a day for celebration.
The day for celebration, man. Thank the weather. Let's go here. I have a lot to say about the national championship game that we saw here. Not so much on the game. We all know that Indiana beat Miami, all of that good stuff. But there's a lot of things that came out on the back end of that game that made me think about it. That made me think, right?
Okay.
From the standpoint of, so you got these guys that interview after the game, right? And we knew about the quarterback being from Miami.
Yeah,
Mendoza. And then you have the receiver.
You're talking about like the on the field interviews, immediately after the game. Okay.
Immediately after the game, and you have the receiver who came up and was like, my dream was to go play for the Miami Hurricanes.
That was the defensive
back.
Got the interception.
Game-winning interception.
Yeah.
His hands are so good. I thought, you know what I mean? I went to receiver.
Looked very natural catching an underthrown ball.
Yeah. And but Miami didn't recruit him at all. And so that's one thing. Like that has to sting. Like that has to sting, because you got guys in your backyard, and but this goes into my second wave here, and the picture on the set. Can Indiana change college football? They literally single-handedly changed how I view college football now for me and for my enjoyment for my team.
How do you view it?
No longer am I so caught up and hung up on this 4 and 5 star thing.
Okay.
Like the Florida Gators, like for years and years, I'm so caught up in, oh man, what's going on this offseason? How many 4 stars do we have? Oh man, we only have 1 5-star this cycle. This is going to be a bad season and all of that. And I feel like they conditioned us for guys who are not your day-to-day heavy college football insider guys that know all the information, that know, we are conditioned to believe in that system, in the ranking system,
star rankings,
and this guy is really good because he's a 5-star, and this guy is not really good because he's a 1-star. We're conditioned that way.
Yeah.
And so when you have an Indiana team who played a Miami team, and Indiana had 0 5-star recruits on the field, Miami had a combined 58 4 and 5-star recruits that shared the field in that game. Indiana had 0 5-star, 8 4-star. You know what I mean? So 50. And then when you look at as well, even the line, like each guy on the interior line outweighed, like Miami offensive defensive line, like outweighed their opposing guy by like a crazy amount.
Yeah.
And were heavily more recruited. And so my takeaway from that is it's about the guy. And you know what's crazy is a couple of weeks ago I came in here and I was like, man, coaching in football is just so much more important than like any other coaching sports. And college is even more so because of their added responsibilities of recruiting and heading that up and things like that. But just coaching on the field, you have to have that guy. I'm a Florida Gator fan. We've had 2 guys in our history of whatever, or at least since I've been alive.
You're talking about coaches. That's Spurrier and that's Urban.
Yeah. We won with Spurrier and with Urban. We haven't won with the other guys. We haven't had any other guys. Yeah. It doesn't matter about all of these 5 and 4-star recruits if you don't have the guy to coach them. Kirk said that he's the guy.
Yeah.
So like, and they won with like, you have like whatever 10 other schools that they're beating in this playoff run, by the way, who had so many crazy amount of more dollars that were spent on players and things than Indiana.
They didn't spend that much more in Indiana.
No, they didn't, but they did. That's the point.
Yeah.
They said it. They had it listed out on ESPN. Alabama, Ohio State, and all of these guys that they're going through, they spent more money on players than Indiana. I know Indiana is spending. I'm not saying they had a $0 thing.
No.
But I'm just saying they're beating the schools that had more 4 and 5 star recruits, that spent more money, in that cycle, all of that stuff. But they didn't have the guy, and Indiana had the guy. That's my overall takeaway.
I think there's just a lot more factors to it. As far as the Stars thing, like Indiana had the oldest team in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They had a lot of guys that have played a lot of football, and maybe they came out as a 2-star guy or whatever. But it goes to a point that I think Bryson made when he was here a couple weeks ago, is the highest evolution you have as a player in terms of development is the responsibility of being the guy. And so many guys on this Indiana roster were other places, and they developed and matured into being the guy in whatever their position was. And they basically got to become all that they could be. And now when they're 22, 23, 24 years old, they come to Indiana and they're surrounded by like-minded people. People that were overlooked when they were in high school and have that kind of the old school JUCO mentality, chip on their shoulder. They've played a lot of football, and they come to Cignetti, and he is a guy that's like, he's brilliant. He's super serious. He puts them in a winning environment and a winning culture, and away they go. It's not that simple, though, to say that, because the other side effect that you have is a lot of the big programs, they're bringing in transfers as well, and they're recruiting 4 and 5-star guys. And there's a bunch of 4 and 5-star guys that get to your Ohio State, Miami, Texas, these big programs, and they sit and they don't really develop because they don't have any responsibility. They go to practice and work hard, but when it's game time, so many of those guys, when they're in their first 2-3 years of this, aren't playing because there's more seasoned, more experience, more ready to go guys in front of them. And then those guys, bounce around and start ending up at different places and whatever. And that's where you get, to me, the the age and experience of players begins to offset the star rankings when the high star guys aren't playing and developing, and they're just sitting behind another guy. And that becomes like a breakdown. And I think it kind of washes it out. But you look at the game, though, I mean, to be fair, to say this, like you look at that Miami team, and it's like, Tony and Bain, like,
they play well.
Beyond well. Individually, they're 2 best players on the field, period. End of story. I know they didn't get the Heisman Trophy, but they are better players than anybody on the field. Mm-hmm. And those guys were high recruited. I mean, Tony's only like 17, 18 years old, getting covered by dudes that are 24 and doing his thing. Like, there is, when you are truly the guy, when you are an NFL player who just happens to be in college and 19 or 20 years old, you're still that guy. But that gap can be offset if you're not good enough at 4 or 5 star to immediately begin to play and get experience and grow. You're gonna be behind a guy that's played 3 years already at another school and comes in as kind of like a finished product for whatever his level is.
And that still goes to my point, though, because like I was listening to Rob Parker, and Rob Parker is diminishing Indiana's title because he's saying that they have the oldest team, and it's like, oh, they're playing against 19-year-olds. What do you expect? My thing is that had to be a strategy.
Yes. Okay.
That was devised and thought about and said, this can work because of this.
Absolutely.
Everyone had the same access to do the same thing Indiana did. No one has done it, you know what I mean? In my recent memory. But in this way.
It's a twofold thing. Because Indiana, when he got there, wasn't going to be in the running for 4 and 5 star guys.
Yeah.
They weren't going to be able to walk into the high school and the living room and wherever and be like, hey, 5-star guy, Jeremiah Smith, how about Indiana instead of – it wasn't happening.
No.
It was born to a degree of necessity.
But
and Cignetti was like, hey, I can't go to Miami and out-recruit Ohio State or Miami for Tony or Smith, but I can, kind of take essentially like a market inefficiency and look for dudes that have played a lot of football, know what they're doing, are physically and mentally mature, and can play my brand of efficient football.
But look at like a guy like, because Indiana had been terrible for so long, right?
For sure.
But look at a guy like Deion who took over Colorado. They're saying, okay, he needs, whatever, 5-10 years to turn this thing around because they've been bad for so long. And who wants to go to Colorado and X, Y, and Z? Well, shit. I mean, Kurt turned this thing around in what? In what, 2 years?
Yeah, I mean,
he's the guy.
Nobody's disputing. He's the guy. I mean, he's Michael Jordan, and in terms of coaching, Deion is I don't even know. Maybe Jordan Poole.
Oh my God,
for real, maybe worse.
But yeah, but see, my part of my point is because in college sports like college basketball, college football, people shy away from older like the juniors and seniors who need a new team. Like they shy away. They want the young 17, 18-year-old phenoms come out of high school. They want that player. Sure. And I think it's refreshing, and he was able to get and work it out. You know what I mean? He came to Indiana before a game was played and said, "Google me, I win,"
because he had one.
Yeah,
he had one.
But this was a step up. This was like,
I get it.
That was bold.
But it still goes back to what Bryson was saying. When you're somewhere, it may not be the biggest stage, but you win. Yeah. You become accustomed to winning. Your mindset is winning. And now you take the step up. Your mindset is still, I'm winning, because this is what you do. And and that you have that surreal level of confidence. If Signetti, again, everybody's journey is unique, but Signetti does not become Signetti if he spent the last 5 or 6 years bouncing around mid-tier programs in the SEC or Big Ten. Yeah. The fact that he went to a place where he got to dictate and control everything, develop fully as a coach, his tactics, his mentality, his culture building, and then bring that on the fly. And I'm not saying that like that there's one way to do that, because this guy is a fucking phenom. We can't get around that. Yeah. He's brilliant, and we have to applaud what he's done. But it part of the way it happened is because of his journey. Yeah. If he was kind of just a blue blood guy or whatever and went right into like Georgia at Kirby Smart, and again, Kirby's a 2-time champion. You can't shit on it. But he kind of did it a different way. He did it a different way. He waited patiently until he got a job where everybody knew you can win if you get it right. Signetti dropped down a level and kind of ground his way back up through 3 different stops, and then finally got the Indiana job, which most people would probably tell you not to take. But he did. He did it his way. He got the financial support that he needed to do what he wanted to do.
Does this put a lot of heat on other coaches? Because it's like...
For sure. Because at the end of the day, if you look at this coaching market this past year, and there's a lot of schools, like Florida State being one of them. I know we have financial problems, but there's a lot of people that say, well, even if we fired Norvell and bought him out, who are we going to hire? Like, where, the implicit, not said in that is, where's Kurt Signetti's brother? Like, that's the thing. Yeah. Who was the hottest name in coaching? Like Lane Kiffin. In terms of movement. What's he won?
Nothing.
His whole fucking life.
And he said he couldn't win at Ole Miss. And here goes Indiana. What? I mean, Ole Miss has just a ton more. Like they were way more prepared to win than like Indiana.
Yeah. And he built that over 6 or 7 years to the point that they were at
the Ole Miss.
Yeah, the Ole Miss job. It wasn't like he was there for 1 or 2 years and
no.
He built that program into high quality, and again, he felt within himself he couldn't win there. Got to go to the LSU job, but my point in saying that is
I understand.
Everyone's looking for a Signetti.
Yeah.
And the biggest name can't even hold his jockstrap. And then I get no shitting on your guy, but I mean John Sumrall, who gives a fuck about him? Yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. All these jobs cycled around, and Signetti makes everybody look terrible.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But I do think there is a circumstance when we go back to like the COVID year and some of the eligibility, medical red shirt stuff. I mean, we have an absolute glut of old people playing college football. And I'm not sure where this is going to go, because I think there's that thing where like you can now play couple JUCO seasons and still have 4 years at a D1 school. So I don't know if there's literally a permanent shift to older players, or we're going to get back to a point where you got 5 years to play 3 or 4. And that's really the norm. And every once in a while, there might be a guy that gets a medical exception due to some really hard luck. And that's the thing. But right now, I don't know where that's going to go, but that's going to define it. You're going to see and it's already defined it. It's like if you're a 4 or 5 star guy that can get on the field and help immediately, you still have incredible value. But other than that, they're looking for dudes that can play. And they know what they can do because that guy just did it at another school.
For 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And so the high school market is terrible right now. And you may sign with a Florida or Florida State or Miami, but if you're not touching the field in 2 years, you're transferring out. And you're transferring the wrong way. You're transferring to James Madison or one of these other type of schools where there's a guy at James Madison or one of these other places that's transferring up. It's just the nature of the beast. And we had a great fortune with the 2 guys a couple years ago on our 23 team. Was Jared Verse came from Albany, and Braden Fisk came from Western Michigan.
The first situation.
Yeah, and Braden Fisk came from Western Michigan or something. And those 2 guys had put 2 years together at Florida State, played great, went to the Rams together, and now they're going to be playing to go to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But that, they kind of did the right. They started low and came up at the end. And there's a handful or a chunk of 4 and 5 star guys that came through with a lot of hype and everything else, and they're going to be finishing their career at Akron and Western Michigan and places like that.
Well, now what's interesting is because now Indiana is going to become a destination school. You would think, and so I wonder how far will they deviate from their initial strategy, and that's going to be interesting to see. Like I want to see where Indiana does land on this new whatever. I guess the on-3 recruiting train this offseason.
Yeah, you're gonna have a lot more interest. And again, are you going to be consistent to your kind of productivity and character?
That's what I'm saying.
Recruiting ethos, or are you going to get away from that because now you have a chance to get some higher level guys, at least ostensibly? But fascinating backstory. Day after the championship game, Mendoza's brother transfers out to Georgia Tech.
That was interesting, right?
Not really. Not in the context of this. Like he's already been in Indiana for 2 years, has played backup to his brother. And instead of entrusting him to be the starter, they got Josh Hoover from TCU, who's a really good player. And the writing's on the wall. It's like I sit another year here, and then what? Next year you're gonna do that because basically I'm not playing. I'm not showing anybody what I can do. That's the dilemma that these players have. If you can't get on the field and show something, what's the point of any of this? Yeah, you've got to go. So he's gonna go to Georgia Tech and. Potentially, you would think he's going to be the starter there, and we'll see if he can play or not.
I don't think he is. I don't think he can be.
I think Haynes King is out. He's out of eligibility.
Is he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And then the backup who
came to
Florida.
Yeah.
I don't. Here's the deal. He ain't going there unless it's starting.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you're going to be in a quarterback competition or be a backup, you stay your ass in Indiana.
Yeah.
But think about the real emotions of that. Like you went to Indiana, your family's proud of you and happy. You essentially recruit your brother to come in and join you, who has this magical Heisman Trophy championship winning season. Your family they love Signetti. They have to. But at the same time, as the champagne's being popped, it's like, son, you got to do what's best for yourself, and that's not stay here.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's really wild.
Yeah, it's really wild on just human terms.
Yeah.
It's something.
Just really quick before we move along to these other topics, how did you enjoy the game? I mean,
I enjoyed it. It was the outcome I wanted. I wanted Indiana to win. I thought it was a fascinating game, very defensive in the first half, and then at the start of the third quarter, I thought Miami was going to win. They got sacks. They got a couple stops. They broke off the long run. And it literally looked like they had no answer for Miami defense. Both the pass rush and the up front guys. In the first half, Indiana, a lot of runs were getting some chunk yardage. Second half early, they were getting nothing. They were getting stuffed on the ground. They were being pressed into obvious passing situations. They had a couple drops, but they weren't making the plays, and they were taking some sacks. And then you get that block punt. That was the biggest turning play of the whole thing, because Indiana might have had the lead at that point or whatever, but they were dead in the water when that happened, and that gave them a whole new lease on life. And then I thought the other thing that was really interesting, as efficient, penalty-free, and everything that Indiana's been all year, they get to the point where they have a 2nd and 1 in the red zone, first down will kill the game, and they jump off sides. And then on the ensuing possession, when Miami has the last chance to do something, they rough the passer.
Yeah. And
now you got a penalty. It helps Miami. It's just like, you guys have been so good and so disciplined all year. And when all the chips are in the middle of the table, you're starting to fold. But thankfully Carson Beck was playing quarterback.
Yeah. I wonder how his NFL stock and how that's gonna go.
What NFL stock does he have?
He's a guy I wouldn't want on my team.
No, I wouldn't want him on the team. He's almost like a negative product of the NIL era. And what I mean is this: he went to Georgia, played pretty well, and then he does this abrupt move to Miami for nothing other than essentially money and lifestyle and the girlfriend. And plays, to his credit, they get to this game. But in every one of their losses, he was largely responsible. And I just don't see, you're going to have a guy who's going to come into your locker room potentially as a later round pick at best. He has some talent, but he doesn't have great talent. And he's this guy who's been, fucking hoes on South Beach, driving around in a Lamborghini, carrying himself like whatever. And he's going to walk into an NFL locker room and basically be nobody. 2nd or 3rd quarterback at best. You got to grind. You got to show us you can make a team and make a play. And your Lamborghini's not with you right now. That's what it is. Yeah. That's what he's facing. And in some ways, the career that he's had and the NIL money and the opportunities and all that, I hope you put it in the bank. Because I almost think it hurt his development as a person of character to succeed at the next level.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Well, yeah, we'll definitely see how what quarterback Miami is going to target in this,
they
this
targeted Mensa.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
from Duke.
Yeah.
You like him?
I didn't see Duke play. He was at Tulane the year before. He got a 2-year, $8 million deal to play at Duke. He had a good statistical season. They won the ACC championship game, and then literally the last day the portal's open, he enters the portal and he's apparently going to go to Miami with a $10 million deal. Nice. They had to buy out the Duke deal and then obviously pay him for this next season.
So that's how that works.
Yeah. And then, well, not always. I think these contracts and agreements are evolving. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of the kind of smaller schools are going to start to do is kind of push these buyout clauses. So they're not left holding the bag and they can kind of turn that money and flip it to a new player, your players. So I think that's the way it's going. But yeah, and then they kind of promised him some, because they're an Adidas school, maybe some Adidas money as well. And so he's going to be the Miami quarterback next year.
Wow.
Yeah. But again, it was cruel the way it was done in the sense that last day of the portal, he'd basically been believed to be coming back, and now kind of Duke's stuck with their pants down. They don't have time to really get somebody else of value.
Yeah, I know. That's gonna be interesting. And then they have that kid from what's that, Jones or Evans? He's there.
Quarterback?
Yeah. He's like a 4-star guy. He's going to be in a transfer portal after next year.
Maybe you can play at Duke. I'm telling you, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. And again, there's a lot of stories growing that guys that went in the portal are kind of going back to their original school and saying, "Hey, can I come back?" And a lot of them being told no. We've moved on. I mean, I want to see the stats because there was literally thousands of football players in the portal.
Yeah.
And people have been saying it all along. It's these guys aren't going to not everyone's going to get a deal. I mean, guys are going to walk away from a scholarship to go in the portal and come back with zip.
That's one of my favorite.
We're not even talking about NIL money. We're talking you no longer have free school.
That's one of my favorite quotes from Dion. What he was like, a lot of guys, a lot of guys go in the portal, but not a lot of them make it out, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them go in,
Yeah.
but not a lot of them gonna make it out.
No, it's
looks
true.
like a black hole for some of those guys.
No, it's true. There was there was a guy, he was running back at Florida State 2 years ago. That hard runner, promising guy, not necessarily elite, but apparently he got an agent involved and kind of gave Norvell a number, and Norvell balked, and he went in the portal. Nothing really happened. He was going to be a walk-on at Miami at one point. He was going to go to FAM. He ended up at Arkansas, and I know he's in the portal again. And just like whatever. I mean, he didn't get from Arkansas whatever he was got from Florida State. He didn't get what he asked for. He didn't even keep what he got. It's like, what are we doing?
Oh wow. Yeah.
It can be tricky to assess your market value.
And all these guys are solo entities, right? It's not like they have agents.
No, they do have agents.
Like all of them?
Well, I mean,
majority. I'm
majority.
talking about majority.
Majority,
Not like all.
Majority of guys that are at the bigger schools where they're presumably getting some NIL money already, they're involved. They're the ones kind of going to the school saying, hey, this year we want $350 or we're going to go in the portal. And some coaches saying, well, have a good time in the portal, and not not everybody's coming out on the top end of this. Yeah. There's guys that are going into the portal with money in hand and not getting that same money or not getting any money.
No, that's interesting. We'll get Juan's take on that too when he gets in. I'm just curious because I know he's familiar with that NIL process and all of that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move it along here to some NFL stuff. And by then, Juan will be here, the basketball aficionado that he is himself. All right. I thought this was interesting. So, of course, Buffalo Bills, they let go Sean McDermott. A lot of that stuff is going on now. And they promote the GM to the president of operations. And the owner is coming out today. And because people are like, why are you promoting him? And what's going on? And he made this comment about your boy Keon Coleman about like, hey, that wasn't the GM's pick. That actually was on Sean and the guys. And it's interesting because I've been seeing that all day, like on these different sports shows as well about, you didn't go out and get the receiver from Miami when Miami, the Hurricanes, the Dolphins. What's the receiver's name? Not Tyreek, but
Waddle.
But Waddle. Okay. They put Waddle. There was a deal in place to go to Buffalo, but Miami wanted a first round pick, and then all of that is surrounding about Keon Coleman's just not working out for the team so far, and now it's like blaming like, okay, well, whose decision was it to draft Keon in the first place? First of all, there has to be like a shitty situation for Keon to be in the middle of all of this.
Oh, he's done there.
After having a bad season,
he's done there.
And all of this is out.
He's done there.
You think like
they're gonna cut him?
You don't see him on the team next year.
Yeah, they'll cut him, especially after this.
You know what I mean?
No, they're cutting him, or try to trade him and then whatever.
Or something like that.
No, for 100. I mean, okay, so I really think that what those quotes are that we just showed. That is some elite nonsense.
I was going to say it's some incompetence going on too.
Beyond that, because look in context, and I'm not even necessarily a huge McDermott guy.
Yeah,
I think he's good, but the year before this Bean guy became GM, that's when they drafted like literally their 5 cornerstone players of this team now.
Okay,
so they had 5 guys that were really good that they drafted in the same draft, who have been the core of this Bills team. That guy that was GM at the time, which was a black GM, he gets fired, replaced by Bean. Since Bean has been drafting, it's now, I think, 5-6 seasons, not like 2 years. He's drafted 2 Pro Bowl players. That's it.
Wow.
His draft record has been horrible. And he gets promoted, and McDermott gets fired when your 2 best players turn the ball over 5 times in a 3-point loss. That's crazy.
That's super crazy.
And then you're going to like randomly shit on a player directly. Like, this is not cool on any level.
Nah, I didn't think so.
You could be unhappy with Keon Coleman. You can waive him. You can trade him. you already kind of essentially embarrassed him
by benching him.
benching him inactive as a healthy guy on a second-round pick. Which again, Keon, I've got issues with. I think he's got some problems, and he hasn't matured well enough to really be in the role that he's in, or what the team expected of him. But to basically drag a player like this publicly is crazy.
It's nuts.
And you're trying to prop up. I mean, the only reason you're doing this is you're trying to prop up this guy that you've now promoted over a coach that took you to the playoffs the last 6 years in a row.
Bingo.
This is just nonsense.
Trying to solidify your decision.
Yeah, I have no respect for this Pugula guy.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I hope they continue to lose.
Yeah.
And if I'm Josh Allen, if you got any testicles at all, you demand a trade.
Because you call your own
Yeah,
shots.
you're Josh Allen.
I don't know, like these NFL guys, they're so like married to the.
Yeah, be an NBA guy. Man.
This is my thing. This team drafted me. They took a just have to stay and be loyal. No,
They
you
took
don't.
a chance on me with the 5th pick in the draft. I might have slid to 7. God bless the Bills.
I might still be living in my mother's basement if it wasn't for these guys.
That's crazy.
Come on, man.
Nah, this is just
You
really.
see the writing on the wall, Josh. These guys aren't it. They're
This
never
is-
going to be it.
This is the same thing. Like, if these people are revealing who they are, do you trust your prime, the rest of your prime, to these two guys? I wouldn't.
Hell no.
I'd be in there demanding a trade. That's wild, though. I really do. These guys are garbage. It's full circle. Like, let's take a dump on LeBron because, when he left Cleveland and that owner popped off with all he said and did.
Yeah.
And then he went back 4 years later.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of respect for LeBron.
Yeah.
The reality of this is I rooted for LeBron as a Heat player. I haven't rooted for him since he left the Heat. And I won't. Because you went back to that dude who said all sorts of out-of-pocket, inappropriate stuff about you. And I'm like, this is what you do.
The difference is because he's from there.
No, it's not
I get the same
it's not a
sentiment.
difference.
As I'm older now, I don't give a damn about it. But it's something about growing up and just like it's something about repping your town to like the 10th degree, and it's like like I said, now I can give a damn about it. But
I've never felt that. I've never felt repping Danbury, Connecticut. From the time I was there, it was a place to escape from.
Yeah,
that's it. And there's nothing. I mean, objectively, there's nothing
bad.
Horrible.
Yeah,
it's a mid-sized town.
Yeah,
has a little diversity to it. It's not tiny. Like, you don't know everybody. It's whatever. It has proximity to New York City and other things. But like, when I was like probably 12, 13 years old, I'm like, life is happening. It's just not happening here. Like, I can't be here. This can't be my final destination.
but that's like a thing.
But I don't understand is what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
you are maintaining an emotional tie that does not serve you. And I can't endorse that. I can't say that's good. Yeah. I respect that decision. When you combine any factor with that like this guy directly, said negative things to you and did whatever, and that doesn't mean anything to you. Like, there's no way I could respect your decision or even really respect you as an individual. I mean, that's where I'm at on that. But I think it's about progress and growth.
Yeah. No, like I said, I feel differently about it now than I did back in the day, but we just have this weird affinity with repping our neighborhood and our city and this, and like, that's like, it's just like guys who grow up in Orlando are just Orlando Magic fans. That's a loose connection there, but it's like you just become diehard to your city, your environment, no matter what. Like, even though, like, there's this guy in Winter Park that nobody likes, Dan Bellows, right? And it's like he's a part of pushing black people out of Winter Park and all of that, doing crazy shit. But it's like, all of the racial components and bad things that have happened to people in Winter Park, including the school and sports and all of that. It's like they still rep Winter Park to the death of them, and it's just like, these if it was up to them, the people that own Winter Park, give a damn if you were here or not. They really would wish you weren't ever here. But it's like, it's just one of those things, man. But yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it is a psychological thing, but I find it to be a psychological restriction rather than a psychological empowerment.
Yeah.
And I think that people should look at things that they hold sentimental and consider, am I doing this for the right reasons? Does this really mean anything for me? Or am I just holding on to something that doesn't serve me?
Yeah.
I'm really big on that, in that, evaluate your own mentality and why you're doing certain things or feeling certain ways about certain things. And if it doesn't serve you, do the work to get past it.
No, 100%. We're going to move on to a different NFL team here and all of that good stuff. Matter of fact, Josh Allen's contemporary here, Lamar Jackson, is what we're going to talk about. But I wanted to give a quick shout out here. Now, there's something going on February 15th. That is technically that is known as the National Side Day. Because it's
the 13th was.
Is it? Well, maybe it's the 13th and the 15th. If you're a side chick, you get 2 days. The main girl only gets 1 day.
Or the
14th.
The second side chick gets the 15th.
But International Flavors Festival on February 15th. Alrighty, they're putting this together, and it's going to be all different types of food and music. It's going to be a great event, a great time. Music, food, culture is what they're calling it here. You can find tickets. Visit International Flavor Fest at .eventbrite.com. I'm going to play a quick video here. Here you go.
Right here on Wall Street, downtown Orlando, February 15th, the first annual International Flavor Food Festival. We're going to have foods from all around the world, over 40 food vendors. We're going to have live music. We're going to have free food and drink specials. You don't want to miss out. It's going to be a sold-out event. Grab your tickets now.
Now. Grab them now.
You had more enthusiasm than the guy in the clip.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our guy out for Chapman, man. Y'all check that out. And there you go. All right. Now, another thing that is going on in the world of the NFL is the Ravens are trying to figure out what they're going to do. Okay. Moving forward, as far as, a football coach, number one. And then number two, there was a thing that went out to different NFL execs and coaches and things. And every year they asked, for your bold prediction going into next year. Now, they dated it back to last year, and there was a couple of those predictions that came true. One was Sam Darnold going to wherever, to Seattle or whatever. And their bold prediction for this offseason was Lamar going to the Raiders. Okay. Several execs and coaches, that was their bold prediction. Now, of course, the Raiders have the number 1 overall pick, who everyone is anticipating to be Mendoza. And then, with Lamar, there's a lot of things going on with the Ravens and Lamar, right? Number one, a lot of people feel like Lamar pushed Harbaugh out. There was just a button of heads there. Just time to separate.
But I'll say this. If you are of the belief that Lamar pushed Harbaugh out, him being traded does not make sense.
It does not. That conflicts with that. Number two, okay, Lamar, his contract is ending after next year, so you got to pay him again, and he wants another, max contract for lack of better terms. All right, he wants another $300, $400 million. Number three, the injuries and all of that. And Lamar didn't look like Lamar. Now you can, if you're a Lamar guy, you're gonna say, "Oh, he was hurt. He was hurt." If you're not a Lamar guy, you're gonna say maybe there's a little regression there. So if you're the Ravens, is it time to move off Lamar now?
I think the argument is there too. I would not be shocked, and I wouldn't necessarily be agitated with the Ravens if they make that decision. You're jettisoned a longtime coach, and you're going to bring in a new coach. Why not let him do his thing? Because, I mean, Lamar, you're kind of, if you don't cut the tie and you bring in a new coach, Lamar still has the leverage in that, And again, if you're going to have a free agent battle or whatever to the end, and it's not unlike the logic of Luka with Dallas, to the extent that you accept this, is that like, hey, do we want to pay that last big contract to a guy that does get banged up, that, hasn't come through in the playoffs, has always had a fingerprint or two on failure? I don't think you should. I don't disagree with the idea that you move on from it.
I tried so hard to be on the Ravens have to keep Lamar no matter what. And I can't get down with that. I agree with they should take a heavy look at that.
Yeah.
If that was a thing. And
if you can put, the Raiders or somebody else over the barrel and really get some good stuff.
And the proposed trade was the first overall pick and the Crosby for Lamar. I think for the Raiders, I think you do it. I think you have to do it. And if you're the Ravens, you get Crosby and you get the number 1 overall pick. I think you just have to do it. I think it just works in both directions. And,
it's kind of like a football 69.
Lamar, there's just no telling, man. I don't know. I do believe that the injuries hampered Lamar in this season. But the problem is in football, there's only results, man. Like nobody gives a damn that he was hampered. He's, you know what I mean? Like, did you produce when you were on the field? You did not look like your MVP self for the vast majority of the season. So, and football, you don't reverse age, man. Shit gets worse as it goes on.
The other interesting thing, though, like you go back 3 years to when Lamar was last in the contract situation. The preceding 2 years, he hadn't finished the year due to injuries. And that's when they kind of made that decision, like, hey, go into the market, see what the market values at. And it didn't value him.
Yeah.
There's whispers of collusion or whatever. But he came back and for 2 years played well
MVP,
to the finish, MVP, all that stuff. Now, when a contract dynamic is back in play, he's not playing healthy. He's not playing great. Like, what are we doing?
And he probably comes out this year and has a hell of an MVP year just because of that contract is looming. And you know what I mean? I'm going to say sell high. I'm still going to say sell high. He comes out next season, wins MVP, maybe wins a playoff game or whatever. I'm going to say sell high.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course, unless he, wins a Super Bowl or whatever, then that's a totally different story.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, I just thought that was super interesting, because I'm not a super believer in Mendoza at the NFL level. Like he's a guy.
No,
that's
I was
going
to say you watched that game Monday night. Like to me, there wasn't a lot of NFL play in that.
Yeah.
I thought he didn't really play well. He kind of had the iconic run to his credit, but his back shoulder throws, he hit a couple of them, but they weren't super clean.
Yeah.
I know he had a couple drops, but he was pretty modest.
I thought he was fine.
In the passing game.
I thought he was fine.
But for
a number 1 overall pick,
and that's the measuring stick. Yeah. Like it's okay to be fine, but you're the Heisman Trophy guy. You're the presumptive number 1 pick.
Yeah,
I want to see some wow.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
I want to see that. Like I'm looking at a guy who's at a really high level, not a guy that makes one dramatic run.
Yeah.
That
At the very least, though, at least he didn't play poorly.
No, he didn't play poorly.
Like the Oregon kid or whatever.
Yeah, Dante Moore. For sure. But yeah, I mean, when you're talking top pick, again, whether it's the Raiders or maybe the Ravens, or somebody's taking this guy to be your quarterback for the next 10 or 12 years, like I didn't see that.
No, no, I'm with you. That's why I said I'm not fully bought in there, but it is what it is. At least you get 4 years of cheap labor. Even though those number 1 overall picks, man, they're getting paid, man.
That's what kickstarted the development of the USA.
Oh man, that's true though.
Yeah,
that is true. We have some good games coming up this weekend. All right, they got the Patriots and Broncos, which I do not believe is going to be a good game actually, and the Rams and Seahawks. All right, now with Bo Nix going down, man. Well, Bo Nix going down, that takes the air out of that game for me.
Yeah.
Like you know, like if it's on and there's nothing else going on or whatever, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
But you know, anything else, I'm just not. I don't have to be glued to the TV.
That'd
for
be
that
a
game.
good block of time to schedule a threesome. You got that in you, Bubba?
That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't had one.
3 to 7 on Sunday. Find out.
If you're a willing participant.
Bubba's looking for a pair of women to enjoy some adult activities simultaneous with him.
But yeah, man. But the Patriots and Broncos, I you know, what do you want?
I don't care. I don't like either team. I'm kind of like Vrabel. So I mean, if I have to pick, I want the Patriots to win over. I just don't like Sean Payton. I don't like Bo Nix. I don't like injured Bo Nix. So I don't want them to win under any circumstance.
But Bo Nix was playing well though. In this
I don't
playoffs.
care. I don't care.
What did Bo Nix do? I know it's Sean Payton. I know he's the.
I just
whatever.
was never a believer in him. Back when he was at Auburn, I thought he was a clown and he was kind of overhyped. And then I got disappointed when he went to Oregon and kind of played well. And then I got further disappointed when he turned out to be pretty good in the NFL. So it's all hate, but you know it is what it is.
At least you know Sean Payton has a history.
I'm not rolling it back.
Douchebagness.
Oh, more
Sean
than
Payton.
a history.
Yeah.
He's like Lifetime Achievement Award.
Well, let's roll over to the other side because I do want to watch that game. Remember now, the Seahawks were my early like, hey, watch out for this.
Oh,
team.
you did? I didn't remember
Come
that.
on, man, you gotta remember that. Give me that, man. Seahawks, man.
Getting up there in years.
I was on that.
Yeah, I want the Rams to win though.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, this is if the Rams don't make the Super Bowl, like this is just really bad for me. I'm not going to be able to generate much enthusiasm.
Seattle Seahawks versus the Patriots
or the Broncos.
Or the Broncos.
I don't care.
Yeah, that's.
I'm just not into it.
That's rough.
That is a rough game.
That's rough.
Thank God Bad Bunny's going to be there. I might be one of those casuals that just tunes in for the halftime show. The heck with the game.
Yeah. Oh man, the NFL. Yeah, I just thought about that. Yeah, they have to be rooting for the Rams. The Rams are the only ones that can save the Super Bowl.
Could be. Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll probably pump up the Patriots stuff.
Pump up the Patriot stuff. They'll pump up the Sam Darnold Reclamation Project and all of that stuff.
Which is a strange. I mean, like he kind of reclaimed himself last year. Yeah. It's kind of like the continuation of the Sam Darnold Reclamation Project.
Part 2.
I was gonna say. That's all you could make in Hollywood, anyways. Sequels. So here we go.
There you go.
I don't. I'm just not excited about NFL football right now.
We talked about that in the beginning of the playoffs because a lot of the main players were out.
Yeah,
and
I'm missing those guys. I don't know. I just really have a hard time generating enthusiasm. I do want the Rams to win it. I was enjoying the Bears.
Yeah,
that was that was such a crazy game for me because I've kind of been since about mid-season. I kind of been low key back in the Rams, and in the middle of that game, I wanted the Bears to win.
Yeah, I
was kind of like, damn, this would be cool if they win.
Yeah.
So yeah, that one. But then they lost, and the Rams survived, which is fine. But
it's funny because you look at Caleb's stat line, and he underperformed. He didn't play that well. But when you watch the game, it's like, damn, that was an exciting game. Like he played well to me. I mean, you know what I mean. Even though he had the 2 turnovers.
What he does though is he'll make mistakes, but he just makes some things happen that other guys aren't doing.
Yeah.
And that's like, the older you get, you feel less, associated with your hometown. The older I get, the more compelled I am to just see like random exceptional stuff. And that's what Caleb gives you. Like it's, just nobody else is doing that. Like it's, it's just, it could be 3 or 4 throws over the course of the 60 minutes. But like at the end of the day, like I'm glad I saw that.
Yeah.
Like that was really worth seeing.
No, 100%.
Versus what some of these other guys do.
Shout out to my boy Gabe. The Iceman.
Nice, man.
Once again, you're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all, and I do mean all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. Juan is asking, are we in the studio? Yes, sir, we are.
Find Ant and get guided back to us.
We are in a different spot here. Different room, but same building. All right, let's help Juan find his way.
Let's hope.
I should have warned Ant.
Get a GoFundMe started for Juan.
I should have warned Ant.
Get a GoFindMe started for Juan.
There you go. Go find me. While we're waiting on Juan here, I might as well. Oh, he's okay. He says he's here.
Come through.
Yeah. I'm gonna say. Okay, come to the. I wonder. Am I on Bluetooth here? Because I can talk to him through here.
Yeah.
This is a. What is this? Roadcaster. Yeah. There we go. Come to the. I wonder. You heard that?
Yeah.
Am I on Bluetooth here? Let me take that off. That's not going to be good. All right. Live show, and we're trying to get a
guest here.
A guest in here, man.
Yeah. Hopefully he figures it out. Oh, you're going to call him?
Yeah, because it's the texting thing. I mean,
it's tough for text.
Yo, yeah. You're in the parking lot, like you're still in the car? All right, yeah, it's the same building, but if you go, it's the last door, and if you open that last door on the left, like instead of the main door you normally would come in, like
go 2 doors down.
Go 2 doors down on the left side,
and it'll be a straight shot
down
until you see a white door on the left.
And you should see the studio owner out there too. A door that's locked. You're out there now. Just come to that side door. Just text me when you get to the side door under the carport. All right. Let me come open it. I'll come
All
open
right.
it real quick.
All right. Well, we should have Juan with us momentarily with his basketball insights, not his directional insights. But hey, we did move the studio. It's a good thing we're not Pop Smoke, and people want to kill us. So they'd be able to find us now, even if Juan can't. But yeah, shout out to Florida State basketball. Got a first ACC win of the year for our boy Luke Laux, head coach of the program. Beat Miami last night by 1. So watch that game. Very happy for Luke to get the win. He's a member of Pedro's Posse. Played for us for a couple seasons, including a TBT appearance back in the day during our Sweet 16 run. So very happy he was able to get that win, and good luck to him building the program. And I think these guys are coming back soon. I think I hear him in the hallway. Here they are. Juan has made it. Take the middle seat, Juan.
Middle seat.
Yeah. So Juan's joined us. Yeah, we kind of switched it up in the studio space.
Yeah, I see that. I walked in there. I didn't know what was going on.
Big changes are afoot.
So you're going to make sure you want to be talking into the mic here.
A little closer.
Got it. Okay.
Juan, did you have to ref tonight?
No. I was over at the Rollins game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Win or loss?
They were up. I just turned it off before I came in here. They were up 12 with under 4 to go. So
hopefully it wins.
It seems all right. So
now I'm asking this question.
Unless they're on the bench in the Thursday night league.
Yeah.
I'm asking as a alumni of Rollins College. How many black guys are on the team this year?
African American.
Yeah.
Man.
What other type of blacks are potentially on the team?
I understand this question. Other nationalities and stuff like that.
I know that. I wanted to bring it up.
There's 2, I think.
Okay.
2, but I mean,
They're not
yeah,
playing,
no, yeah. There's
right now.
one of them is a significant player. The other one's a role player, and they had another one that was there, but then he ended up going somewhere else. So
Okay, I think that's the one I knew.
yeah.
Who'd you know, Bob?
The one guard I was
John
telling you-
Latimer.
Yeah.
He ended up.
Okay.
He just literally popped in the. I got an alert that he was over at Langston University.
Okay.
And that's a
So
school right
he was
outside of
on the
Dallas.
team at the start of this basketball season?
Yeah.
And then left midstream and picked up a new team?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the way of the world now. the
I guess
transfer
so.
portal,
Yeah.
I don't know for what reasons.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a feeling they're non-basketball reasons, but I'm not here to speculate that or not.
Yeah. He didn't tell me either. He's just like, yeah. I'm
You
not
think
there
something shady went down on Fox Day?
No.
Shout out to Fox Day, man.
Shout out to Fox.
I haven't been since I graduated.
Really?
Or since I stopped working there and graduated. Yeah, but like every year that was like a thing, man.
You gotta get out there
That's
for
a thing.
one.
I know, right? I know.
Juan, do you still participate in Fox
I'll
Day?
go. Yeah, I'll go to Fox Day, like to the food and for the food and say hello to everybody. And now there's a bunch of young kids out there. I'll try to bring my son out there this year. We'll
There
see.
you go.
That's it.
We'll see. Yeah.
Because I still get the alerts. You get the alerts on your phone
yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
First
yeah.
thing in the morning.
I get the bird call the night before. I got my people in the food services. Can't say who they are because you know what I'm saying.
That's
Can't
funny.
say who they are, but they're like, yo, like,
Juan's still getting free food 15 years after his last class.
hey man, it helps to know the right people,
It
the
does,
right
it does.
folks, as they say.
Bob, I think it's got to be the push. You got to make a return this year.
I do.
That'd be
need
fun.
to. I know. And I still know some people there, so that'll be
Yeah,
good.
you know what? You'd be surprised at the number of people that you go to Rollins and they're still there.
I know.
Yeah.
That will surprise me.
Yeah,
That will surprise me.
especially working in the services department.
Yeah, like maintenance, housekeeping,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
that's where I was at too. Anyway,
That's
food
funny.
service.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do like an on the bench live out there.
Yeah,
Maybe,
you could.
yeah.
An IG live.
Yeah.
Bubba's great return.
Yeah, I mean, I could tell you'll probably get down with the food for sure. But
I went to my first and only white frat party at Rollins.
Really?
Yeah. It was at
Do they have
Rollins.
another kind of frat party at Rollins?
I guess not.
speaking of Rollins, long live the legend Eddie Cole, man. I was at
Yeah,
his funeral
man.
a couple weeks ago, and man, that's
Shout out to Mr. Cole, man.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Eddie Cole, man. What he was a great person.
He
And,
was.
I was at his funeral, like a 3-hour long service, and it just like
3 hours.
yeah, it just makes you sit there and think like, bro, like this could happen to any of us. It could happen to us, any of us at any
Wait, what
time.
happened to him though?
I've been told heart attack, but I don't know for certain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want to say it on
Yeah,
air. It's
yeah,
nothing bad, like, but I just don't. I mean, I feel like for the
family and
for
all of that.
family privacy, like I don't know if they're listening to it, and
I'm
they'll
getting
be
some,
like, oh, why are you talking about this?
I'm getting some Kevin Samuels vibes.
I don't know. No, I don't know, honestly.
Okay,
But,
that was a joke. People were supposed to laugh.
Nah, well, in that case, no Kevin Samuels. Well, Juan, we saved all the basketball for you, so that is good.
But what's that move along so quickly? Do we have a story from the white frat party?
No,
Not at all?
No story. I mean, it's just regular stuff that you hear about that happens. Yeah, man.
Probably wanted to make sure you weren't an undercover cop because you're like one of the only people of color there.
8 or 10 frat guys jerking off on a cookie.
Actually, no, the two. Oh man, what are the names?
If we were in today's age, you might get a nice check.
You knew those two. You knew the two black kids that were there. They play ball recreationally.
Yeah.
But Eric is one of them.
Yeah, Eric,
he was there. Yeah. But they do stuff like get dead drunk and see who can swim in that lake out there.
Really?
Naked. All that is foolishness.
White people
Beer
like
pong.
nudity, man.
They
do.
Yeah.
They like nudity, and they kind of like, I'm not gay, but I'm gonna do gay antics.
Yeah.
That's a big lane of white people.
Being drunk is just not something I ever like. I never enjoyed it or sought to enjoy it.
Really?
Yeah.
It had my time and my time.
I always like to be in control of of what I can and can't do.
100%. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we have a couple here. I want to get to this. I want to see this LeBron stuff. So there was a big report that came out that Jeanie Buss got angry at LeBron and almost traded him to the Clippers. Felt that LeBron wasn't grateful for them drafting Bronny and all of this stuff, and all of this is coming up because the main part of the report was about them selling the team and all of that, and about the family, the beef within the family and between the siblings and stuff like that. But the Bron stuff just became louder as a part of that story. Now Jeanie has come out today and refuted that story and said it's all lies and that it's not fair to LeBron and all of that stuff and whatever. But what are your initial thoughts on it?
I thought it's totally believable. Makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't I accept it as more likely than not being true.
Yeah.
Regardless of what her statement was today, I think that's meaningless.
Like she just has to say that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Just keep sitting smooth over. But I mean, the Lakers were like a family franchise, and it was kind of like a, once a Laker, always a Laker type of vibe. And LeBron comes out there, kind of picks the team, that's where he's going to go for this last part of his career. And I know they want him. They obviously, recruited and signed him to do that. But I think he comes out as LeBron James. He doesn't come out as a guy trying to carve his way into Lakers lore. And that means a lot to that family business that have had that thing forever. Like, they still have relationships with Magic Johnson, and they had a relationship with Kobe to the end. And there's certain guys that are always going to just be welcome in the Laker family. And LeBron came out there not needing that, not wanting it, and not willing or care enough to do anything to cultivate it. He came out there as his own brand, and he just happened to wear a Laker uniform. And for her to feel some type of way about that, doesn't surprise me at all. And I also feel like, and I've said this more recently, like, I think LeBron is screwing up the back end of this thing. The relationships that he has, how he's treated people, how things have kind of trickled about how he conducts himself. It's always had a complicated history. Like, he's been believed to have kind of been a part of a lot of roster decisions everywhere he's been. But there's a part that, was that always really true, or did he not necessarily have what he wanted there? Or was his word always taken at full speed? And we talked a while back about him going back and playing for Cleveland after that owner kind of shit on him. I think LeBron has existed in some degree in this crazy bubble created by his immense talent and accomplishments that have kind of immunized him from a lot of scrutiny, but also relationship nurturing and building that might have kind of come along with this. If you think about, he's been on 3 teams, the Cleveland fan base will always be grateful for that title. Miami's kind of moved on and had we won titles, but he was kind of and the Cleveland, he's not good standing with the Cleveland owner. And in LA, he hasn't ingratiated himself there. So you have arguably the best player ever who's really doesn't have a home franchise, in a meaningful way.
Nah, Cleveland is the home franchise.
Only because of the fan base, not
the fan base is what matters. Because the owner, you could say he's a racist owner, or he just didn't like LeBron, or whatever you want to say. But that's a single person. That's
that's
not
the
even
guy
a thing.
that owns the team.
I don't know, who gives a damn? I don't know. It's
except
he's a bad owner. It's
I get he's a bad owner, and it was
whatever.
LeBron's choice to go back there, which makes no sense.
But he didn't play for the owner. Like I said, he was playing for the city in his hometown. I think that really, I understand. It may not mean anything to us, but it means something to him, and it means something to a lot of people. You know what I mean? For better, for worse. Now, there's a lot I agree with and a lot I disagree with. But because first of all, the Lakers needed him. You know, the Lakers needed him more than he needed the Lakers. They were dead. Like they were dead.
He
They were dead.
needed.
LeBron
I
chose
don't
the
dispute
Lakers
that.
because they were the Lakers.
Mhm.
But if the Lakers were the Oklahoma City Lakers, or the Orlando Lakers, or the Sacramento Lakers, there would have been little to no chance he would have went there. And you know, there's a couple things that I want to say. Number one, I have not read the story or the report. I have not read it, but I can tell you two things. Amongst organizations in the NBA, like, look at what you said about Miami, Cleveland, and the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
Miami is one of the best organizations in all of sports.
100%.
And they had, it was a little, like, the organization was a little bit too strong for LeBron's liking. And
Mhm.
that's why he's no longer, or that's why he no longer chose to be there after, you know, after their initial 4-year run there. He, you know, listen, in Miami, Pat Riley runs the show. Eric Spoelstra's the coach. They do things at a level to where no one person is bigger than the team. And for a guy like LeBron James, who is arguably the greatest basketball player to ever play, that rubbed him the wrong way. In Cleveland, they rolled out the red carpet. It was carte blanche. He got whatever he wanted. The only thing that, again, you can't say about his relationship with Cleveland is after he left the first time, Dan Gilbert was, you know, he let his emotions get the best of him. And I mean, who wouldn't after losing
Arguably the greatest.
You know, your like the hometown hero, a guy who's the best player of all time, a guy who went and won 2 championships with a rival organization. But in fairness, Cleveland bounced back nicely. They were able to get Kyrie Irving. They screwed up the Anthony Bennett pick, but hey, like it you know, I would say all in all, they haven't won a championship, but they've acquitted themselves okay. Like they have a team now, even though we're talking 15 years after the fact, we have a team now that is good and it's relevant. It's a contender. Like Donovan Mitchell is a guy that you know, from a business standpoint and from a basketball standpoint, he's a guy that you want as the face of your franchise. And I think that speaks to a lot, or that speaks a lot as to how the Cleveland organization acquitted themselves since this initial LeBron fiasco, you know, back 15 years ago. Now, the Lakers are probably among, well, not probably, let's eliminate probably. The Lakers are, besides Sacramento and besides, I mean, Charlotte is getting better. Listen, there aren't 5 worse franchises that are run than the Lakers. Listen, running the Lakers is like driving a brand new Lamborghini every year. It really is. Yeah. You have everything that you want in that franchise. You have glamour, you have location, you have everything that you could want in there. But they aren't, like, the way they run their organization is, and it has not been over the years. It has not been something to be proud. Like, look at how they treated Jerry West, a guy who arguably is the greatest player in the history of that franchise. Look at how they treated Magic Johnson. You could say arguably the greatest player in the history of that franchise. You know, over the years, like, their relationship with Kobe wasn't all. Look at how they treated Shaq on his way out. And also look at this LeBron situation. I mean, LeBron is, you know, he is what you want. He's a headstrong guy, and you know, he may have created some of this situation for himself, but part of that is the way that you run your organization. and I don't think that the Laker organization, and I can get people that I talk to about the NBA. I can anonymously poll people in the NBA, and they will say the Lakers organization is not ran like an organization. It's run like a, it's run like a little mom and pop side business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And listen, their family has the right to run it there, but I'm just going to say this. Not reading the story, imagine not being able to speak to your brothers, your blood brothers, because you fired them over some financial stuff. Like you guys have hundreds of billions of dollars, and you guys are gonna fall out and make an organizational wreckage over a few $1,000s. Like that to me is not. That to me speaks of a lack of organizational structure.
Yeah. Well, she fired them all.
But again, everything you said to me suggests that this story's probably on the mark.
I think more of it is true than not, just like you said. That's why I said I agree with something you said.
I don't think that this is like a fabrication out of nowhere. For her to, get upset with him and want to trade him, for her to feel like he didn't appreciate the drafting of Bronny. Like, these are consistent behaviors with a person who runs things from an emotional, kind of mom and pop perspective rather than like a corporate structural thing where you're just kind of like the decisions are based on data and logic and this and that. And instead, you're just getting mad at people and making decisions based off of that. That seems to be what they've had going on. Being the Lakers is a tricky spot, because you could say, well, hey, the least one of the greatest players of all time deserves is for the organization to use a second round draft pick on his son, whether or not he's good enough. And they could say, and LeBron could say like, oh well, I'm the reason you sell out every night, regardless of Luka, regardless of Anthony Davis. But let me tell you something. The Lakers in the past, before Bron, like they weren't box office. They were not box office. You had D'Angelo, young D'Angelo Russell, a young Julius Randle. But you know what? People still bought tickets. They were still the most bought tickets on road
and merchandise
games,
and all of that.
Merchandise.
They're like the Dallas Cowboys of the NBA.
There you go.
Exactly.
Something like,
So the the argument that the ownership could make is, listen, we were still box office before you came around. But obviously, again, this is a players' league, and the league is better when the Lakers have a guy like LeBron, a guy like Luka.
Yeah, 100%. I think, and also another thing I thought interesting as well, which I believe. Oh my gosh, keep talking, guys.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
I just saw the thing. Keep talking.
Yeah.
Okay. But I still go back to, like, LeBron did not pick the Lakers for basketball reasons
At all.
and that's why, like, it's looked like it's looked.
Yeah.
It's whatever, 6-7 years now, one bubble title and a lot of failure.
Yeah.
And so I just haven't,
But listen, regardless of LeBron, and now regardless of Luka, like, the way the Lakers are built, they're not built for deep playoff runs. Like the lack of organizational structure is so much so that it affects the on-court product.
I agree. I mean,
I hate that so much, that people can't realize when a team is not good enough, so we blame the players. Like LeBron and Luka get a lot of blame, but that team is shit, man. It really is.
They're especially not good without Austin Reeves. And again, the Austin Reeves situation is awkward because
it's one of
here
itself.
Here you have a situation where again, like this is so much of the issue with the NBA is like on one side you have Rich Paul openly speaking on a podcast as to why Austin Reeves should be traded, which
he should.
Well, listen, first of all, I'm trading LeBron before I trade Austin Reeves.
You can't.
I know. Well, here's
so
the thing: you can't trade Austin Reeves because Austin Reeves. Listen, LeBron is he's in the final countdown. Okay, to give Luka a good running mate, he's a free agent this year.
LeBron, right? Yeah.
Well, no. Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves. Oh, both of them are.
Yeah.
LeBron and Austin.
You have to extend Austin Reeves.
I don't think you should.
You have to re-sign Austin.
You have to re-sign him. First of all, let me be clear. Yeah.
Listen, if Austin Reeves didn't get hurt, he's an all-star this year in the Western Conference.
That's all great. That's all great. To be competitive, yes, you trade LeBron and Austin Reeves. Let me be 1,000% clear. I'm a LeBron guy and all of that stuff. But yes, for the Lakers to be competitive and field a competitive roster, you trade both of them. But you can't trade LeBron just because of the no-trade clause and all of the other foolishness with the CBA and all of that. Austin Reeves has to go. You can't. A guy like Austin Reeves cannot play next to Luka Doncic and that be a finals competitive team. It just can't.
I disagree. I think you have to get guys that complement them. But Austin Reeves, listen,
Austin doesn't complement Luka.
In the Lakers, in the LeBron era Lakers, name a player that the Lakers have developed organizationally other than Austin Reeves.
No, 1,000%. That we've established that they're not a good, not a good front office, not a good franchise as far as on the court. They have all of the antics and all of that down pat, just like Dallas Cowboys. But as far as on the court and making decisions, and they allowed, because as I was going to say before I got up, is they said in the piece that Jeanie Buss was mad about the Russell Westbrook and how LeBron let the front office take the fall for it, but it was all his decision. And he wanted Russ on here. And, it was him, Russ, and AD meeting without the Lakers front brass knowing. Yeah. They met at LeBron James' house and made the decision for him to come on the team and all of that stuff. They allowed LeBron to make that decision for him to be on the team. They allowed LeBron to make the decision to draft Bronny. Like, they didn't have to. Those are things that happen on real, or that wouldn't happen with Miami Heat. You know what I mean? I said from day one, Bronny he's not an NBA player. He's not.
He actually, I'll say this, like, I watched Bronny at the G League Showcase last month.
I don't, the G League is so, let me tell you something. We got a guy on a Philadelphia 76ers team who I swear to you, I highly doubt he plays another NBA minute. He is not an NBA player. He's terrible.
Broom.
He scored 50 fucking points in a G League game 2 nights ago. He's a terrible NBA player.
Listen,
he's terrible. The G League, I don't know what happened to the G League. I thought the G League was something like this, some natural transition to the NBA, and these guys can really play. That shit is terrible, man. That shit is terrible. Paul Reed was the MVP. No shot to Paul Reed, but that shit is terrible. That's not a barometer.
Paul Reed's a very
he's a serviceable role player. Yeah, I understand, but
in the G League, you're not going to find guys that are going to score you 50 a night. You're trying to find guys that are.
But I would think a guy that scores 50 can play 2 minutes in an NBA game. That's what I would hope.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Jeanie Broom.
Jeanie Broom, and I actually 100% agree with you. I do not think he's an NBA player at all. But again, he was on one that night. He was on one that night. The least. And in the G League, like, the teams are really interested in developing like 3 or 4 guys.
Okay.
They're interested really in the development of. Look at Jared McCain. Jared McCain's back.
He just went down. Yeah, they sent him down there.
I mean, the thing I was saying to G League though is that, like, it's in constant flux with two-way guys coming up and going down. Like, if you're coaching a G League team, like, who you have night to night and week to week varies significantly. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of dudes that are just going to be in that league because they're essentially available to fill out roster, and they're good enough to play in a G League game without embarrassing themselves. And there's another thing, that this goes to a guy like Hassani that we're familiar with. He played in the G League for a couple of years. The money, if you're not a two-way guy, is not good. And so a guy like that can look at this and say, well, I'll give it 2 years or 3 years, but if I'm not trending toward an NBA team, I'm just gonna go overseas and make better money and make my career there.
And that's kind of, and I know we gotten off topic. We talked enough about the Lakers and LeBron anyhow, but that's my point. I just think that's altogether the better option. If you're not a two-way player, there's not enough data. There's not enough data that shows that NBA teams are grabbing G League guys and putting them on the team.
Well, that's the most convenient thing.
Just the two-way guys. But I'm talking about outside of that. I mean, guys are coming from these other channels. Like if I'm a guy, I'm not a two-way guy, and I have a decision to make whether I want to enter the G League or go overseas. Like overseas has to be the overwhelming answer there.
I think you give it a window of time, because that convenience.
They're not plucking guys out of the G League.
There are guys that get an opportunity here and there. It is what it is.
Here and way there. Like it's not even
it's
close.
Still a function of convenience to be available, and that's why I say you give it. I think Hassani kind of played it right. You give it a window of time where it's like, okay, I'm here, I'm putting in the grind, I'm going to be at the training camp. If I get called up, I get an opportunity, I do what I can with it. But you can't do that indefinitely. But I think if you just go straight overseas, like, you may never get the look at all. And then there's other dudes that just aren't built to be overseas guys. Like they don't really want to be overseas like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, if you're younger, you can try to give it a shot, but there becomes a point to where you have to use this to go make money. Otherwise, like, why are you doing it?
Yeah.
Really quick here before I get to the NBA All-Star stuff. Well, this is a part of the NBA All-Star stuff. 76ers kid, VJ Edgecombe, last night he was asked about the dunk contest. He's doing all these, crazy dunks throughout the season. And he just laughed it off like, no, like almost said like that's beneath me. And you see, and the funny thing is about the NBA dunk contest is we kind of see it. We saw it go through waves. Of course, we know that the best of the best stars used to get in there, and then I feel like it went to like only the high flyer dunkers wearing, whether they were stars or not. And then we got to an era of young guys like Kobe and all those guys where they're stars, but they're young rookies, sophomores, whatever, and they got in.
It's kind of like a rite of passage thing. Do it your first 2 years or whatever,
and then
move on.
And then move on. And then now we're kind of in this like no one wants to do it. There's a lot of no names.
Well, you had
guys who aren't familiar with
the Zach LaVine, Aaron Gordon window was pretty special.
Yeah.
But like what, for the last 2-3 years, you have Mac McClung, who's not really a full NBA guy, winning it, and that means he's a great dunker. But like, again, if you're VJ Edgecombe, you're like, I'm gonna show up and maybe beat Mac McClung. Maybe I lose to Mac McClung. Is that what
Yeah. So how do you feel about it? Because I honestly thought even the day we drafted him, I just automatically assumed he's going to be a guy that's going to be in a dunk contest.
Yeah.
I think the All-Star Weekend is a train wreck these days.
Yeah. The listen, man.
It's a dying asset, dying entity.
What All-Star Weekend is. It's a gigantic social event, and by the time you actually get on the court to do stuff as a player, like, I just don't know how these guys just aren't like sleeping on the bench by the time it gets to All-Star Sunday.
You mean because of the parties and the
they have so many
events.
off the court obligations. It's like I'll just ask you a question. Like, why do you think guys like Jimmy Butler and Kawhi are like excited when they don't have to go to All-Star Weekend? Because it's just nonstop obligation after obligation after obligation. The NBA finally realized that, and that's why they put that break after the All-Star break. But I actually think it should be longer, because those people that are selected to go to All-Star Weekend aren't actually getting a break. Like, they're getting like 1 or 2 days, and then but they should honestly get like a week.
But the problem is like you if you lengthen the week, like it to a week, the All Star Weekend product still sucks, and so now we're gonna go 9 or 10 days without real games because of this. It's like it's literally not worth it.
You think they should incorporate the NFL model?
Nobody wants to do that either.
Well, I mean, as far as just the All Star game, not the activities, not like you have to find something to do with the weekend, but like the game, you just name the guys.
If guys aren't going to be competitive, then don't do it.
Just don't do it. Yeah, just name. Hey, these are the All Stars this year.
But I think the reality is what he's saying is that all the commercial obligations, all of this extra shit around the game. They're so financially invested that it's not realistic that they're just going to scrub the game. They're just going to keep trying to do half-ass measures to strike a balance where the product is we make our money, and then we resume the season.
How are they going to do this damn World versus USA thing? So they named the All Stars. We're going to talk about the particular players in a moment. Well, yeah.
So it's so here's the way they do it. They have 3 teams of 8 guys, all right, and then there's a USA team, a world team, and some other team. I don't know what exact. I think the other is comprised of just a mixture of those guys. So if there's not enough USA or world or other players, then Adam Silver just adds players until the teams are filled. So there may be this year there may be 30 All-Stars between all the injuries and all the additions, quote unquote. You may have 30 All-Stars.
It's just silly, man.
So I actually don't mind it because I feel like honestly we've gotten to the point where 24 is just not enough because you end up getting guys get scratched at the last minute. Guys get hurt like a week before the game. And then just by the time, with all the obligations, with all the other stuff, guys just don't want to do it, man. Guys just don't want to do it. If anything, play the game on Friday night and make them do all their other obligations during the weekend. Yeah. All the parties, all the other stuff. But let them rest let them rest Thursday and Friday. Have a competitive game. Put $500,000 out there, and then have them do all the commercial stuff Saturday and Sunday, and find the crap out of them if they leave early.
I think that's a solid
work,
plan. Yeah.
I mean,
I like that.
Adam Silver should give me a call, man.
Let's go to the players who feel like they were snubbed here. One of the main ones is Anthony Edwards. Now, so a lot of NBA fans also are calling out, saying LeBron James was a snub, which I think is
first of
silly.
all, can we need to address the way these votes are handled. Okay, so number one, here's my hot take. I think you should find the players that voted Bronny as an all-star starter, the 2 players, and suspend them for a game, and publicly announce who those players were.
Yeah,
because that makes a mockery. That might be the difference between Ann Edwards starting and not starting.
It might be LeBron and Bronny.
Okay, yeah. So,
that's the first look I'm getting.
Yeah. So
let's see your ballot, Jeanie.
So I really honestly, I really think that coaches and players should pick the All-Stars.
No fan input.
No. I think the fans should have very minimal input. And the reason I say that is because over the years we've seen the fans make, I don't want to say a mockery, but listen, Denny Avdia is having a great season for Portland. There's no way he should be 3rd in voting. I'm sorry. I know he's Jewish and all that, and that may have a lot to do with it. And he's having a really good year, but he ain't having a better year than Anthony Edwards or Jokic or even a semi-injured Victor Wembanyama.
So what you're saying
I
is,
think he could possibly get in as a reserve.
He will get in as a reserve.
Yeah, it's possible. There's a lot of guys out there in the West.
So what you're saying is that the Jews of Israel have taken a sabbatical from genocide to vote for their God.
I'm saying that the Jewish vote has a lot of influence as to why Denny Avdia is like third in voting. That's all I'm saying.
Similar, yeah, to like.
I'm not saying anything about it.
Guys, we're gonna pause the genocide. We've got some voting to do.
We got some voting to do. Wear your tablets. The question with Anthony Edwards is Steph Curry versus Anthony Edwards. I mean, that's.
I mean, listen, Anthony Edwards has been the most clutch player in the league this year.
Yes, he's been big and come up big in some moments, and of course he's a two-way guy. I think he has to be in there over Steph, but at the same time, Steph is there.
He's going to end up starting anyway because I don't know that Jokic or Victor is going to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
It depends on how they do the world and teams because both of those guys are world guys. Anthony Edwards is a USA guy.
Yeah, true.
So it depends on how they do that.
True.
So that's what makes it tricky. But just in the sense of a natural, like, the 5 and 5, the starters on each side, the East and West, I do think he should have made it over Curry. But at the same time, Curry is like the staple, like he's the draw. Curry's a bigger name.
Having a solid.
He's having a solid year, but Anthony Edwards is just having a better year.
Yeah.
Now, one thing about the players, you want to take the players' votes away. You do know who was the number one.
No, the fans' votes. The play. I think.
You think players and coaches?
I think there should be a ballot of legitimate candidates given to players, and then the players can vote.
Okay.
Not. Hey, write your 5 guys in.
But do you know who was their number one voted amongst the players?
Was Ann Edwards, right?
No, I'll give you a guess. Who was the number one voted player amongst the players?
Jokic.
Cade.
Oh,
Cade.
Nice. Do you know?
Makes sense. He's having a great year.
Hell
too.
yeah.
Do you know though? Like, what are the players provided with in terms of the ballot, and how? Like, do they put 5 guys, or do they have to put 12 or 24? Or?
From what I know, that's how it goes.
What?
Yeah, you provide 5 guys.
Just 5 guys.
Yeah, the starters. Yeah, on each side, East and West.
So that when I get a ballot as a player, I only get to put in 5 names. Period. Okay.
Yeah, that's from what I know.
That's a little weird.
Not saying that that's accurate now. Yeah. And then afterwards, it goes to the reserves. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah. So, but you have no issues with how they had it.
I don't care about the All Star Weekend. I think it's a joke.
Anyway,
I'm over it. The only thing I'm mildly engaged in is the 3-point contest, but the game has been dog shit for way too long. And I agree. Anthony Edwards gets snubbed. There's no justification for that. But the rest of it. So
I mean, the World USA thing doesn't increase your your interest a little bit
until I actually see people playing hard and giving a damn. Okay. I don't care.
I always say like I'm always more interested about who gets selected to play than the actual game because the theatrics behind the game are way better than the game itself. But yeah. Shout out to Maxey, becoming a All Star starter. He got named the starter. Deserves it. Yeah. Good year. All right. Next here, I wanted to talk about the New York Knicks. So New York Knicks have a players only meeting a day or two ago. They before tonight they had dropped 9 of the last 11. Yeah, and then they come out and beat Brooklyn.
They beat Brooklyn
60.
Yeah, they destroyed Brooklyn tonight. Brooklyn is an active tanking team though. So they'll have to see in their next, real game. There's some NBA teams that are just, they're like, and this is a good draft coming up, but they're just all out, man. Brooklyn is one of them. Yeah. Utah, they're finding Utah. No,
I'll tell you what, Utah,
they'll get a winner here and there.
Yeah,
it's not about the players. It's not about the players. They've already shown. First of all, they've been fined already this season. So it's from up top. They will sit guys. You're looking at they'll beat a good team here and there. Yeah. When they play against a bad team like Brooklyn, they'll sit marketing and all of these guys.
It just creates the funniest situation because you'll every 5th or 7th day, you'll just see like the Jazz beat a decent team by 15 points.
They are decent when all of their guys are playing.
It's just funny that's how they're operating.
But yeah, but they're in full tank mode.
Yeah, no, the Jazz are actually like a really fun watch. And I'm going to tell you one thing, like next year, I'm calling the Jazz making the playoffs. Like when they actually try to win games now, they're still a difference maker away from being a good team. But man, like they got 2 guys and Keontae and Lowry Markkinen.
Yeah.
Man, if those 2 guys were actively playing every game, they'd be all stars. That's how good those guys are.
And they'll be flirting with the play in.
Do you feel they go with Debansa and kind of the BYU Utah?
If they get a chance to draft.
They've been getting screwed in the draft. They've been getting screwed in the lottery.
Yeah, if opportunity presents, is that something that they're looking to connect the dots on?
They ended up getting Ace Bailey, which I think they would have loved to have at number 2 or 3.
I'm thinking like Ace and Debansa, they kind of I don't know because if you have marketing Ace, I don't know what Debansa fits in. He's better than Ace.
I'm not saying it's a basketball fit. I'm just saying, is it one of those things where it's like this guy goes out and plays at BYU?
You take him and figure it out.
Right. Well, no, but I'm saying, my point being is there going to be some funny business where he goes out and plays at BYU, and then he drops to the Jazz or the Jazz
from that standpoint.
Yeah, that's the only thing I'm thinking.
Well, right now, you have some guys. Darren Peterson, obviously,
he's a big name.
Right now, from what I see, I don't know that Debansa's hands down number 1.
No, he's not hands down number 1.
And so that widens what can happen here.
Yeah. He's not hands down number 1.
Yeah, I mean, if he was like Wemby, where number 1, whatever, then the only way is if the Jazz win the lottery.
Yeah.
But now, the way things are, I think there's some room where the Jazz don't even need to win the lottery for that to be the pairing.
True that. But with the Knicks here,
because Juan, you probably paid. Who do you think is the best prospect in this draft?
I mean, I would say I like AJ better than a lot of guys. But then, you have Darren Peterson, you have Nolan Traore, you have the kid, Cam Boozer. I like Cam Boozer. I think he's the most sure thing. Like he's gonna have a solid 12 to 15 year career, just like his dad had.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be just a really rock solid piece. Will he be a guy that is a game changer? I don't think so. But he's the safest pick.
He'll end up with a team like OKC.
I mean, if OKC gets a top
Patterson seems to be the guy that seems to have the most motion.
Yeah, Peterson. Yeah,
Peterson. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Peterson.
Yeah, I see that name all the time.
The kid from North Carolina.
The scorer.
Caleb Wilson.
Yeah.
He's solid. Nate Ament from Tennessee.
I'm not familiar with that name.
Yeah, Nate Ament from Tennessee is another really good player. And then the kid from Arizona, Koa Pete. I mean, I don't think he's playing his way into like a top 3 or 4 conversation, but he's a guy like if you're drafting 7, 8, 9, not a bad guy to have.
He sounds like a guy that's going to have a big tourney.
Yeah. Well, yeah, listen, Arizona is by far the best team in the country. And he's a big reason why.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now that'd be interesting to see. Definitely have to have you back in when that time rolls around too. But with the Knicks here, beating the Brooklyn Nets down to their draws aside, okay. What is your take on the Knicks season? Because there's a lot of issues. You have the game against the Golden State Warriors where Cat and Draymond get into it, and then the head coach is hugging Draymond after the game. They said the players didn't like that. Cat being the main person, of course. Then you have the Cat piece in itself, where they're saying he's just been unsettled this season. And then you have the whole Mike Brown piece of it all, where he's taking over for Tom Thibodeau. They were essentially a better team last year, coming into a weaker East this year. So it's a few different things. My thing that I've been talking about forever is I just don't think you can win with Jalen Brunson. He's a guy that came into this season saying, "Hey, we have more scorers on this team. We're going, I'm looking forward to moving into a more of a, share the ball type of offense and things like that." His usage rate is higher this year than it was last year. He's always been a poor defender. I'm just 1,000% not a Jalen Brunson guy as your lead, as your best player. So what do you guys think about?
Yeah. So as for the Knicks, I'll say this: I was not a fan of getting rid of Thibodeau for Mike Brown for this very reason. Listen, say what you want about Thibodeau and how he runs guys into the ground and, how he's reluctant to play young guys. But one of the things he did was he got the most out of his group. And, the reality is that Indiana was just a better team than the Knicks were each of the past 2 years. And that's because they were deeper. Now, the Knicks do have a little bit more quality depth this year, but there's just something missing from an intensity standpoint. They don't look very prepared. And again, this is my only criticism of the in-season tournament that the NBA does is that it can create a situation where you kind of let your foot off the gas a little
false
bit.
entitlement.
And that's what happened after the Knicks won the in-season title. But again, the NBA season is a very long season. There are a lot of peaks and valleys, but the Knicks are entirely too good of a team as currently constructed to be going 2-9 in an 11 game stretch. You're just too good for that to happen. So what's the difference with that? I do think that Tom Thibodeau was a better coach. He was a better fit for this roster. That's the one thing. And then, you're really starting to see and this leads to my last point about the coaching. You're really starting to see teams attack defensive weak links for the Knicks. Brunson being one guy, Karl Towns being the main culprit. OG Anunoby and Bridges are great defenders, but they can only do so much. Like NBA players are too good to be playing 2-on-4 or 3-on-5 defensively. And then from a quality depth standpoint, they have some guys that are coming in and giving them great minutes off the bench, but they're also like sub defenders. Kolek, a guy who's been a really good revelation, and honestly, like if Thibodeau discovered how good he was
last year,
then it may have been a different story. It may have been a different story. Jordan Clarkson, really good scorer, but a minus defender.
Yeah, and he hasn't had that offensive impact that he even had with Utah.
Yeah. He's starting to age a little bit.
Who's been a negative for them that I thought was going to be well was Yabusele.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen out of the rotation. I hear he's on the trade block too. He's fallen out of favor. And then Landry Shamet, really good shooter, a guy who can come in and give you some good offense off the bench, but he's also just a net negative defensively.
They just don't have what the other good teams in the NBA have, and their role players are all one-way guys. Mm-hmm. You got Mitchell Robinson; he's a one-way guy. He's a rebounder, defender. He just doesn't provide much offensively. And you ran down all of those other guys; they're all one-way guys. Yeah. And in this league, like you said, when you say Indiana was deeper last year, really, all of those guys were two-way guys. I mean, they're not like whatever. They're not Jaylen Brown, whatever, but they can provide offense for being a role player, whether it's shooting or driving, but they also can play defense, and that's just where the league is going, man.
No, for sure. We've talked about it before. I mean, they're not their extra guys are not exploitable in the same way that the Knicks extra guys are.
Yeah.
So my thing is, you don't move on from Thibodeau unless you're getting a championship caliber coach. Mm-hmm. Thibodeau gets you to playoffs. He gets you to contend. His teams always have an identity, a toughness to them. There's value in that. Now, he hasn't been able to get over the hump anywhere. And so I get the idea of moving on. But to go to Mike Brown is a joke. He's not that guy and never been, never will be. And so you really just downgraded a coach for nothing. If they moved on from Thibodeau and got, somebody that's capable of winning something, I could more readily accept that. And then you talk about the flawed roster of almost every guy you mentioned is like a one-way offensive guy specifically.
That's what I mean.
And when your two ostensible star players are defensive minuses too, that's not the way a roster should be constructed. And even if it's not the roster, if it's the mentality and the emphasis and the culture that you're playing in, which Thibodeau has always gotten out of teams that he's been associated with. So they're paying for a bad decision to move on to a lesser coach for no reason.
Yeah, and again, it's you see this a lot in sports now. Like you just saw it with the Buffalo Bills. It's like if you fail so many times, like no matter how high you get on the mountain, it's going to it could cost you your job. And I think that organizationally, Thibodeau is a guy that wore on not only the players but some people in the front office, and they decided to move on from him. I just wasn't a fan of the Mike Brown hire. Like I think that Mike Brown is not going to get you farther than a guy like Thibodeau did. But again, this year in the East is wide open, or at least we thought it was.
But all the more reason that you if you're gonna make this move, you got to make it for the right guy. There was a genuine opportunity when Jason Tatum got hurt.
Yeah.
That this was going to be
that
a very
opportunity might be in a vacuum now because he's close. They're saying he's close to coming back.
I was saying you knew the opportunity when you went into the offseason. It wasn't like Tatum started this season and got hurt.
No.
You knew when you went into that offseason and
Yeah.
Halliburton and all that stuff. So but and again, shout out to the Celtics and Missoula. Like they're second in the conference. Without Tatum, they have a realistic prospect of getting him back before the end of the season.
I think it's there's a realistic possibility that he plays games before the end of February.
Right. I mean, but all that being said, they've done a tremendous job to be positioned where they have. And I mean, it wasn't just Tatum. I mean, they made a bunch of other roster moves, and they're getting minutes out of dudes. They're like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
No, but listen, Missoula is like, I mean, you talk about there's not many guys in the NBA that just jump off the page. It's like, oh yeah, I want to play for that guy. No. I think Missoula's a guy like he jumps off the page.
I agree, and that's what I was basically saying. That's that what they've done, what he's done to get this team positioned where they are.
And what's the luck to have 3 guys in a row like that? Like how does that even happen? You know what I mean? 3 coaches in a row.
That Brad.
Yeah, Brad, Missoula, and then
Doc was before. Yeah, Doc was before Brad Stevens.
Well,
you
not
mean
Doc.
Ime
Udoka.
Oh, Udoka, I forgot about him. Okay.
Ime Udoka, yeah, there's another guy that a lot of guys say a lot of players.
I forgot about him, but Nia Long hasn't.
I'll tell you what you like when Udoka resigned, was forced to resign. You saw Missoula take his bumps in the series against Miami the first year, but then he bounced back nicely, and he's proven that he could do more with less than a guy like Ime Udoka's been able to do. Like, I would say of the coaching surprises, Missoula's at the top of the list, and at the coaching disappointments, Udoka's at the top of the list.
You think so?
Bro, the Rockets should be a lot better than they are. And
Why?
Obviously, not having Van Fleet has a lot to do with
You don't have
that.
Van Fleet, and that roster is very flawed. That roster is very flawed. You got to, like you said, you got to depend on 38-year-old KD to play 45 minutes a night. Like, you don't have any and they don't have any other options.
But I'll just say this. I think Reed Shepherd is a really good player, and they haven't developed him nothing.
What's Reed? Second year?
Yeah.
Second year player.
I mean, but still, like...
second year, what do you want him to be? I mean, what do you want him to be? MVP talk? I mean, he's
for a number 3 overall pick. He's got to be better than he's been.
We got to give him a little while. But is that development, or is that he's not panning out to be that guy? Because they have another guy. What was he, number 2 overall?
Who?
The power forward, Jabari. They have another one. Yeah,
Jabari Smith. Listen,
he's solid.
Solid role
but both
player.
of them are solid. But they were both top 5 picks.
Yeah, and Jabari Smith, I was not a fan of.
Yeah.
I again, same principle. You're drafting this guy second, and to me, he tops out at good role player.
Yeah,
and that's what he is.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna be.
That's what he is.
But I felt that on draft night. Circle back to the Celtics though, like. So you kind of went in this window of time that we're talking about. You went from like Danny Ainge running the team with Brad Stevens as coach to Brad goes upstairs, Ime, and then Missoula. Like that's phenomenal work. That's phenomenal. And integrated on all levels.
Yeah, and that's that's a rival team.
The league made rules to break up the Celtics dynasty with all these aprons, and they're going to be if Tatum comes back. And they slow him back, so by the time he comes into the playoffs, he can go full speed. They're going to be a problem, man.
Problem,
they really are. And they're an Al Horford buyout from Golden State away from being, from being. I mean, listen, they've always had the shooting, and they even have better shooting, I think, than they did in the past championship teams. The only question mark, which I don't know if they can beat Detroit in a long series, the Knicks in a long series is going to be a toss-up, and maybe even Philadelphia and the Magic are they going to have somebody who can step into Drew Holiday's place? And that's either got to be or it's got to be Peyton Pritchard.
I think
Magic aren't going to be a factor at all.
I think it'll be interesting to see though, like knowing that Tatum's coming back, like. What do they do in the trade market? What do they do in the buyout market? Because now they're close enough to feel like, hey,
I think they're
like you said. Al Horford might be a real.
I think
thing.
Horford's going to end up getting back there.
Yeah,
I really do.
Yeah.
I don't know anything, so before I don't know anything. It's just an inkling feeling.
No, I 1,000% can see that.
I would think though that they probably have another 2 moves. What they are besides Horford. I'm not sure, but it'll be interesting because I feel like that the how they perform thus far with Tatum coming back, that they have to feel like they have a shot.
I read a ton that they had Simons on the market,
and I'm sure they do.
Yeah,
but now it's so funny. The feeling with that has shifted to where it's like, at the beginning of the year, it's like, oh, you got to use him as trade bait. You got to use him as trade bait. And now it's like, hey, we got to re-sign this guy.
Yeah,
so,
it has changed, especially because with Tatum coming back and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
No, that's good. You're still on the bench podcast with Bubba and Pink, home of sports, music, and mayhem. Don't forget we're available on all podcast streaming platforms, including here on YouTube. Please like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I wanted to give a quick shout out here to Droville Music Festival. Okay, it's going to be coming up. February 21st, it says here. That is day 1 of the festival, right over there in Edenville, Florida. Pink and I went to the last Droville Festival with Bay Bubs, and there had a great time in there, man. So shout out to Droville Festival. Go out, check it out.
Is it a multi-day festival?
It says day 1, so I'm assuming
that's a little weird.
Yeah, they have their own Instagram page as well, so check it out. We'll be up on the news there, man. Up on the news. Juan, last question here that I have for you, NBA. Who's looking like the MVP so far, man?
Jaylen Brown. but
boy.
I will say this. I think it's honestly between SGA, Jaylen Brown, and Edwards.
No Cade?
Cade's up there, but Cade's missed a lot of games though.
Okay.
Jokic obviously, but he's I don't know that he's going to be eligible.
I don't think he's going to be eligible. Yeah.
Those 4.
Will Wemby be eligible? Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
No. And then
that's probably the list right there.
Yeah, Cade.
We're not going to win enough games from actually to enter that, and I don't think he's not the caliber of player that those guys are anyway. But yeah.
No, I like that list.
Yeah, I would say
Jaylen Brown, SGA. Once the season is wrapping up, that's going to be an interesting topic there.
Yeah,
because OKC is going to have the best record by far, same as last year. Probably even by more of a stretch, but it's like the impact and you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's going to come into play.
Now, if the Celtics continue to track at 2 or threaten the top spot in the East, like Jaylen Brown might have a slight edge there.
Yeah, I mean, you may even get you'll get some Luka in there if the Lakers continue to be decent. I mean, if the Lakers are a top 3 seed, I think you'll see Luka try to maybe get some traction. But again, I don't know that Luka's as strong as the other 4 guys we mentioned.
And you're a big Austin Reeves guy, huh?
I mean, I think the Lakers are better when Austin Reeves plays, yes.
I mean, because the team is so flawed. It's so bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather have Austin Reeves in there than fucking Vincent or you know what I mean, whatever.
Yeah. I'm just okay. You're not a big Austin Reeves guy. I'm going to give you this one. Name a better white American basketball player.
See that? I talked about that. Remember that I talked about it on the show?
Yeah.
That's what guys go to. Like, who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
Maybe I can't name one.
I mean, maybe you can say Cooper Flag, but I don't know, man.
I want an elite 2-way player next to Luka Doncic. That's what I want. I want to find the next Jaylen Brown, Amon Sengun next to Luka. If it's not that team is not going to flourish. That's what he needs. And Austin Reeves is so far from that. It's not even funny. But he has enough trade value to where you can get that. I appreciate Austin Reeves for being good because you can get that with Austin.
You know what?
Reeves.
Okay, so call Minnesota. We'll give you Reeves. You give us Jaden McDaniels.
Nah, that's not good enough.
You literally just asked for that guy.
Yeah, I need a better.
You literally just asked for that guy.
He got to shoot better than that. I mean, McDaniels is close to a 1-way guy.
Bubba finessed himself on that.
No, I want a 1-way guy. I want Jaylen Brown. I want the next version of Jaylen Brown. McDaniels is so far from that.
But you're not getting that for Austin Reeves.
Why not? They love Austin. Huh?
He ain't that good.
You and I know that, but nobody else knows that, Pink. Trust me. His value is so high. His value is through the roof. I'm telling you.
McDaniels is better than people think, man. Like he's the perfect guy that you want on your team because he's that 3-and-D guy.
He's barely a 3. He's not shooting like that, man. He's gotten better. Hey, but I want a guy that could do a little bit more.
They gave him 160 M's for a reason. Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. No, that's true. And that's about to be the same. I mean, Reeves is going to get about 200 though. For sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Good luck, LA. Well, that has been the show. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Juan, coming through. It feel like such a short stay.
Oh yeah.
Got to get you for a longer time next time, but we'll do that.
How long have I been here?
I don't know. We lost some
40, about an hour.
Minutes,
about an hour.
I was gonna say we lost some time there on the
trying to get you in.
Physically get you to the
it's
studio.
like Jesus. Like I mean.
From the Sunshine State, the great state of Florida, and what does your Uncle Charlotte always say? The craziest people in America come from the Bronx and all of Florida.
I'm Big Bubba, cross my black car. It's booby traps and pit bulls cross my backyard. I'm still strapped, boy, these handguns on Vanguard. I like going against the grain cause my hat hard. Bae, I used to thug hard to see this crack hard. I don't thug nothing but the motherfucking task force. Me and 2 Root running shit, we like the fat boys. Paid cash for it, so I try to and fast forward. I put it all in your face like you asked for. Most of you love frontin' like the dashboard. I get it chalked out like the blackboard. I got the ghetto off glass like the backboard. Most of my niggas ride till it ain't no gas for. We been outside like ain't no map for. Been outside like ain't no map for.
I swear to God, these motherfucking gents in Florida is different. Man, I was at this house the other night. Gave her the little son 1 melatonin, thinking this little motherfucker gonna go to sleep. Hell no, the little motherfucker ain't go to sleep. I ended up giving this little the whole goddamn bottle. He ate them all. It was up all motherfucking night.
I'm in all white ones. Picture could get me a Cy Young. We feel like nuns. No f***s giving like Spice One. We feel like bums. Don't change, then I might run. Feel like bunch. Shit when the price jump. I got white bumps. These bags kill it price plump. You only die once. I know you a snake with a sliced tongue. I can't trust you, I'ma dust you. Ain't no checking temperature, it's you, then it's you. These laws I'm stuck to. You know how many 12-12s I run through? My get cut, but my girlfriends get cut loose. My get hit like kung fu. I love the streets, but they never told me I love you.
You already know, I'm straight from Florida.